All right. Good morning. Running a little bit late. Couldn't get the computer to start up for me here. It did not want to go this morning. Not sure what was going on, but I guess we got it now. Trying to get stuff opened up here. Well, I've clicked on Ninja twice now, and it's not coming up. I'm not sure what's going on there. Hey, Samir. Morning. Hey, 6. Sorry, guys. Just trying to get these charts open. James, how's it going? Good morning. Good morning. Let's see. 01. Don't like to just jump in, and so we're going to try to get everything set up correctly here. Before we look for anything. All right. Got most of the charts open. Well, the Ninja chart anyway. The Ninja chart. Oh. Doesn't look like too much has happened in the time that we missed there. Not too much. All right. Oh, try and get the ES pulled up here so we see what's going on with it. ES, where you at? So ES kind of sold back down to that 45.05 level there. Kind of pushing up overnight. Yeah, kind of right back where we started, I guess, looks like. On the ES anyway. Yeah, when I turn my computer on, I have 4 monitors, and only 2 of them came on, and they were oriented in the wrong direction. So, to figure out what was going on. Just had to restart everything, and then it finally worked. finally worked. Let's get this stuff set up here. So we're currently below the VWAP on the Nasdaq and the ES. So what do we kind of open up? Pretty much right where we opened up at. We closed yesterday somewhere in that 74 area. And that's right where we're at. It's low of the day. Yeah, sometimes it does happen. So we're kind of I'm thinking a push back up is what I'm thinking, but some sort of push back up here. Maybe back into the VWAP. Yeah, I guess it could continue to sell. I was thinking some sort of pushback up to the upside might be in store here. It's the feeling that I get that we're going to retrace, at least maybe back to that VWAP area. What we traded up to overnight, 45.17.75. Nice on the ES there. Gotta get that 1 minute chart open here. Don't have that open. Need to see what's going on the 1 minute. All right, getting a little pushback up here. Let's see. How you guys doing this morning? Any of you guys take any trades yet? So we did have this little spike up here at open. Guess you could have got short there at 95 for that push down. For that kind of push through the lows there. A little pushback up there to start pushing back down. Let's see, the ES is kind of no trade yet for Samir. 6 currently down 80 bucks. Yeah, keep the losses small. That's what we tried to do yesterday. We didn't follow our rules when it comes to the 1 minute. 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 1 Apex account, though, the challenge accounts there, we went ham on those after the stream. Today's plan short only. All right. Well, could be. Could be. Could be a good plan. The only problem, I think the only problem is you got the whole number there on the ES. Not too far away, but still gives you some room to the downside. We do start to sell. Looks like 62 would be up next. If we continue to sell down here. If I was going to get short, I would like to have been short up here at the 93, the 95 area. So I'd like to look for some sort of push back up, potentially. But who really knows? If you guys haven't already hit that like button for me, subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. We appreciate it. Some buyers trying to stuff up here, not much to speak of. Kind of choppy action this morning so far. That one little move down, it's kind of been it. Don't know if we're going to get another 100-point move today like we did yesterday, huh? Those are pretty rare. Pretty rare. I'm not in love with this price action so far this morning, just from what I'm seeing. We're not really going anywhere so far. Some sells kind of coming in here. I guess we'll see what happens here. There, we took a little short there. Took a little short down to the 62s. Got 225 off of it on the Bulenox. Just saw that sell volume coming in, so we just took it. Sometimes you just gotta jump in there. Yeah, that was yeah, true. I know you guys heard the cash register ringing on my computer over here. It's one of my favorite things to hear. Whenever my target gets hit or my runner is running, the cash register rings. Still selling here. ES is only a couple points away from the whole number there. Might have had my target a little too low there. I guess technically too high. Too high there. Still selling into the 50s. Just kind of zoom out here, see where we might can go to. I mean, you're kind of looking there. Same area from yesterday, if you guys remember. 4650 area kind of gave us some issues yesterday. So that's your next kind of area, potential bounce area. Really simple. You know, former resistance kind of turns into support. So this is where we made that triple top yesterday afternoon, or we started yesterday morning. So that will kind of be an area that I would watch for a potential bounce. If it trades through this, then this would be kind of your target down here at the 89 area. So if we get through the mid 40s, then the 89 area kind of comes into play there. Would kind of be what I'd be watching for. And also you got to get the ES through that whole number there, which is testing right now, and the ES has a lot of resistance at that whole number as well, a lot of support. Same kind of setup as we had yesterday. If ES gets through that whole number, then you're looking at 90, 92 possible for a move down. So kind of testing that area now. See if we kind of lose that 46 area here or not. Seems to be losing it. Just going to be careful here because the ES could bounce. It's right there at that whole number. Could bounce here. Just gonna play it a little bit safe. We do get a bounce. We do have a pivot down here at the 10, 210. So we like a little push back up, and then we can sell off more. Maybe it offers us another entry here, short. That's kind of what we're looking at. And sellers coming in here, just pushing this right on down. Not loving it with no pushback up. Wanted to see a little bit of a bounce here. Was looking to see a little bounce, but sellers just coming in here strong. ES is down to 96. Kind of see what happens here. I'm expecting a potential bounce here, so just waiting. Just waiting. See if we get it. Everything's looking red to this moment. But making some sweet cash with this red candle. There you go, 6. Nothing wrong with that. I like a little pushback up here, so maybe we can enter. Nothing too crazy. Just give us a little more of a push up would be nice. Not much of a push up there. As soon as I enter short, it'll push up though. Because if red keeps coming in, we'll just jump in. Oh man, I hate to do that. Yeah, momentum's slowing a little bit, but I want to get just a little bit of a bounce. Maybe have the ES retest that 500 level there, 4,500. If we could retest that 50 level, that'd be nice. Better entry for a short. Just kind of watching. Just kind of watching. Like I said, we'd like to see a little pushback up. I mean, at the very least, you know, kind of into this 50 area. See some low volume push up, and then we can see the sellers come back in and continue the down move. Really, on the push up, we'd want to keep our volume below kind of the highs of these candles here. So we'll just be waiting for some sell volume to come back in. Strong above the dead man. And we would enter short at that point. So here comes the sell. It's not quite where we wanted it to be, so I'm going to be a little careful here. Gonna wait for confirmation. Alright, I'm short. Might get stopped out here. I want to see this thing keep selling here. Target is 206 for me. Gonna lock in some as we go. Just trailing this thing down, candle to candle. Alright, stopped out. We'll take it. So up $350 after that move down there. Got stopped out on the first contract quick. I tried to use two contracts there, one with a trailing, and it stopped me out pretty quickly on that one. Otherwise, we would have had a much bigger move. Would have had a much bigger move there otherwise. All right, now we're getting a little pushback up here. See how she goes. See how she goes. Just keep taking these entries as long as we can. Sellers coming back in. Kind of bounced right off that pivot, as you guys can see there at 10. Want to see us kind of get through there. So next up is 206, and then the next target down below that is going to be 89.75. We got pretty strong support there at 89.75. The ES losing that 93 area all the way down to 90. And that's troublesome for the ES there. If it doesn't hold that 89 area, it's kind of the line in the sand there, and then we may sell all the way back down into the 70. All the way back down into the 70s. Little pullback here, holding up here at the 20 area. I'm sorry, 10 area. Holding up here at the 10 area. Due for a little push back up here. Gotta be careful on this next entry because we do have to pivot here. Number one. Number two, the ES is at an area there where it's going to be very important for it to hold. So could kind of be it could be a reversal area, really. Could just sell right through there too, you know, that's just how it goes. Nothing is certain. Nothing is 100% certain. Not really pushing up on this green volume at all, if you notice. Got some buyers coming in here and not really moving up. That's telling you there's kind of a lot of pressure to the downside there. ES made a new low there down to 88.50. If we clear this pivot, we do have that whole number up next. I would think that we would make it through that whole number here on the NAS. Here on the old NAS. Now we're getting kind of buy volume coming in here that I'm not in love with. See how high this buy volume is? This looks more reversely to me with that buy volume there. So we'll wait and see what happens. Now this has to maintain, you know, we need to have 5-6 bars print. Now you see how it kind of dying. It's not a great sign for the bulls here if it's just already dying. That's why you don't take the A leg. This technically is your A leg back up if it continued. That's why you don't take it. You want to have some sort of confirmation. And we're not getting it there. Would need a pretty hefty push back up in order to even consider a long, to be honest, other than a small scalp. So I imagine that buyers probably are going to disappear here soon. Sellers will come back in. I'm looking at that 90 area there on the Nasdaq. 89 as a key kind of area. All right, we'll see here. If we get sellers come in and we push through that pivot, then we may enter short. It's going to be a little more risky for sure. But let me give it a go. A little more of a risky entry. Not in love with it, but we'll see what happens. I mean, buyers are trying to hold that pivot, but I don't think it's going to happen. They are trying. Oh. Just waiting. Just waiting. That's all we can do. If you're still short, you're probably okay. But who knows? ES did retest that 86. It moved through the 89 that was kind of important there. Looking a little bit weaker at this moment than the Nasdaq. ES probably trades back into the 82, maybe 70s. Pushing us down maybe into the 89 area. See how we're selling with that green volume? That's interesting there. Kind of a divergence there. I'm just being a little more patient on this move. I need some sort of confirmation that we're just going to continue down. Right now, the like I said, the Nas is kind of holding up here. It's not, we were pulling back on buy volume. That's very, very interesting. That's right. Anybody still short? Could be. You never know. I'm not. We took our scalps. I mean, we might take it short if we get some sort of confirmation going here, but I don't know. Holding up so far. The pivot is holding up. Buyers trying to come back in here. Trying their best to hold it there. So in this case, we'd like a nice little push up. Maybe to the skid mark area. And then a little pull back. And then a push back through. If we're going to push. If that's what we're doing. If that's what we're doing. I don't know that that's what we're doing, but just thinking in terms of ideal scenario there. Probably just going to push up to sell back off. Still have a little bit of room there to the downside. So, although the ES did just trade right into an order block and bounce. I'm thinking this is looking pretty good for a long here, at least scalp terms. short term. Got that 32 level up next. If we get through that 32, I think we trade up into that 57. Got to get above 32 though there. Maybe a little push up above 32, small pullback, and then kind of go. But once again, I mean, that's, you know, assuming it does something along those lines. It may not. There's always more than one option. All right, let's see what's happening here. See if the sellers come in here. So we kind of got the pushback up, not quite as high as we were thinking. Didn't get above 32 there, so I think that leaves 189 in play here. Just got to get through the 10 with some nice sellers, and that's kind of the idea there. If we get strong sellers come in here, you know, up above this level, then we would look for it to sell. This could just be a bit of a pullback before we move higher. It didn't quite go as high as I'd like it to, though. I was thinking look kind of double toppy here on the 30-second chart there that we're looking at. So I'm thinking we may get this rollover, looking roundy. Looking kind of roundy here. ES moving back down. Got to get through that 86 area there on the ES to kind of start selling. ES is holding up there at the 86. I mean, we're getting this buy volume coming in, but hold on, I gotta sneeze. All right. Make sure I turn the mic back on. So let's see here. Kind of finding some support here, guys. We're basing here at the 86 on the ES while we're at 89. ES needs to reclaim that 93. Longer we kind of hang out here and we don't sell, I kind of feel like we might push up. But if we lose this 10 level and the ES loses that 86, then if the ES gets back above 93, all bets are off there. But if we can claim, if we can get above 32 here on the NAS, flip that 32, then I think we can move up, at least in short term, maybe back to the 257s. Somewhere in there. Do you happen to prefer the New York session or the London session for volatility? 6, I prefer the New York session. I trade the London session a little better, in my opinion, just because the moves are a little more clear. But I prefer the New York session just because the price action can just offers you more opportunities, that's all. But it also, you can lose faster, more. But you also can make a little more. I mean, I've got friends who, I got one friend of mine. He just posted his thing. He's short from. He took a short from 15,290 all the way down to 210. Nice little. So you can get some action going if you trade it. But yeah, I prefer the New York just for the overall volatility. The overall volume. Sometimes London sessions are good, but sometimes they just drag and nothing happens. I don't think anything happened in 5 minutes, Samir. We feel like we found a bottom here. We're kind of just chopping around in a bit of an idiot box. You can kind of see here, not much going on. Holding the pivot. There's a pivot there at 10. And the NAS is kind of holding that 86. If you zoom out, it's kind of trading into an order block. Into a bullish order block there at 86. So kind of a logical area to bounce. But if it sells, if it loses the 86, then you're looking at a move back down into the 70s. And we probably sell down into the 50s, 150s. But I don't know. I'm kind of thinking that we move up here, but the longer that we stay here and we hold this pivot, I'm thinking that we just continue higher, but could go either way, right? Could lose the pivot. ES loses that 86, and we sell. We just wait, see what happens. We just wait and see. Sellers would have to come in strong here in order to get through this pivot and stuff. Yeah, you can see we got buyers here. We got buyers, but the market just went nowhere. Didn't go. Moved up a few points, but that's it. Sellers come in, sellers seem to move it. Buyers are not really moving it. So let's see, going to retest this 10 area. See what happens here. Just be careful, guys, because this thing could bounce, but certainly could bounce. But if we get sellers coming in here strong, kind of watching the ES here too, then we may take a short entry here. Got to get through 10. If we lose that 210 area, all right, I'm going to enter short here, a little bit riskier. We may get back some profits, but let's just see. Sellers are looking pretty strong, so Just kind of watching, just watching. If those sellers don't continue to come in, then I'm going to kill it. Got to get through that pivot there. Kind of shorting into the pivot, which I'm not in love with, but. And that little bounce. Okay. Trying to give it a second here. See if we can push on through there. All right, I'm just going to take it off right there, guys. I don't love the fact that sellers aren't coming in strong enough here. They probably will come in now, but and if they do, we can always re-enter. And there they are. But we can always re-enter if need be. Yeah, I just didn't trust that trade there. Didn't trust it. Had the pivot there. How many hours do you guys trade per session? I'm usually here for like an hour and a half in the London session, and then New York, I'm usually about the same, hour and a half, 2 hours. Sellers coming in strong here. The 89 levels looking like it's in play. Should have held that short, I guess. Try to give it a second there, but I didn't trust it. So maybe get a push below 200 here, maybe 195, bounce back up, and then dump back down to the 189 area. We're going to kind of push back up into this pivot before we turn down, potentially. ES moving through that order block there, almost all the way through it. Got to get down to 82 before it kind of clears it. A little small push back up here. I mean, there's not huge sell volume going on here. That's kind of, it's like, you know, we're selling down easily, but not on a lot of sell volume. You'd like to see this spike, right? Spike, spike, spike. Get it up there. But the volume's not really what you'd like to see there. Get back above this pivot. Kind of pushing back up here on lower volume. We'll see. I mean, it could very well just turn back down here. That's probably what it'll do. Kind of retesting that pivot. The volume has just died. I mean, there's just nothing. It's just nothing. It's just dead. I mean, I think we may get a push back up. It's kind of what I was thinking when we held that pivot. ES still holding that order block. I mean, it's wicked. It's traded through it a little more than I would like to see, but it's still holding it. Just wicked down to about the little past the center line, but the body of the candle is still holding the center line of that order block there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens here. We start to sell, we'll start to sell, but top of the hour coming up here in about a minute. So that might give us a little push down. A little bit of sellers trying to come in here. Let's see if they can pop. Take this thing through the whole number. Not much to do here. There comes some buyers. Top of the hour. Followed by the sellers. Testing that 200 level. Little pop back up right off the 200. All right, we're going to take a quick potential short right through the whole number there. Seeing if we can get into that 95 area quickly. There we go. Followed that one down a bit. 89 is going to be a key area here, guys. Be careful coming into that 89 area. That was just a quick little short scalp that I took there. Puts us at 565 on this Buley account. Bulenox. So let's watch 89 for possible bounce. That's kind of a key area to me. I think we could bounce right off 89. ES down to the 81s. Let's just watch and see here. Like I said, you got that liquidity all the way down at 70. So if we lose the 89 here, we've got to get through a zone between 90 and 72. It's pretty big resistance or support there on the NAS. If we get through that, then kind of all bets are off there, all the way down to 142 possible. But that 89 area is going to be key. We almost got there. We were at 92.75. Bouncing back up here. Like I said, that first move below 200 or below the whole number never sticks. Almost never sticks. You're always going to get a bounce right back up and then a push down. Oh, I think we're at least going to hit that 89. We'll see what happens once we get there. Maybe not. We'll pop back up maybe to the 06, 08 area, and then turn back down. Maybe retest the pivot. All right. I'm going to push back up there a little bit when we get up into the 04 area. Maybe a little higher push up before we turn back down and take out that 89. I think we hit the 89. Whatever happens there happens. Let's just see. That was kind of a dangerous short that I took there, guys. Don't try to do that. I shorted right into the whole number. Not a great thing to be doing. I knew it, though. I mean, we saw that sell volume kind of coming in there. He figured we'd push through there, especially the ES losing that, kind of losing that order block there. He felt like we would sell through. So funny, you can see this move down, though. Really, I mean, we moved down on green volume here, a very low sell volume. You know. All right, here comes the sellers back in. Let's just see what happens at the 89. See what happens at the 89. I could take another short, but I just feel like we're chasing it. 89 is going to be support. Somewhere between 80, like I told you, 72 to 90. It's kind of it's gonna be a difficult area to get through. So I don't like shorting into those zones. So I think 89 will be touched here, but it could reverse so quickly that, you know. Oh, is it really gonna front run me here? 91, 90, there's 89. All right, let's see what happens. Do we bounce? Do we bounce? Order filled. Do we bounce here? I think we do. Come on. Oh, I tried a little long there just to bounce off 89, but I moved my stop too quickly. Kind of scary longing into that, but I think this thing is going to bounce right back up. I really do. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Right off 89. It's amazing how that happens. I guess technically it made it to 88, but still. Every time, 89. Never fails. It does fail. I mean, it doesn't mean it can't sail through here, but you always get some sort of reaction to those numbers. If you guys ever looked into that, it's called a Fibonacci number. It doesn't have anything to do with the Fibonacci retracement per se, but it's a Fibonacci number. If you look that up, it's an interesting thing. I'd have a tough time explaining it to you, to be honest with you, but a friend of mine turned me on to that information, and since I started paying attention to it, it's pretty logical. Like I said, doesn't mean you can't trade through there, but you're always going to have some sort of reaction, usually 5, sometimes 15, 20 handle bounce right off that number. So the next one to the downside's 142. Well, we got to get through that 72 area strong if we're going to continue selling. Maybe double bottom here, bounce back out of there again. See here on the 30-second chart. Maybe another double bottom. Testing 89 once again. ES holding up there at the 80. Can't get through there. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button for me. Subscribe. I don't know where we're at. 195 at the start of the stream. So if you're watching and you're not yet subscribed, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button for me. And there it is. This looks stronger. Looks a lot stronger. I didn't hit the button that time. Would have gave me 10 points. ES holding up there at the 80. This could be the reversal area. I think we might get a nice push back up, but who knows? Got to get through the whole number and then through that pivot at 210 in order for that to stick. ES kind of bouncing right off that 80-50 area. I'm hungry. Just realizing that. I'm like, man, I'm starving over here. $196 subscribers. Nice. All right, we'll take it. So we just need 4 more, guys, to get to 200. Just 4 more. All right, all right. So it kind of bounced back up here to that 200 level. See if we can sell back off here, if we can get back through that 90 area. I'm not really interested in any shorts here just because I know that we got a big zone of resistance or support here. We have a big zone of support from the 72 to the 90. And if we, can't get through that, then not really interested in any entries there. Could kind of bounce in that area at any moment. So just want to be careful. We already locked in some London profits. So we'll see what happens here. Start to move through there strong, then we may consider something, but retesting the 200 level once again here. I don't know, guys. This feels like a bottom to me. It really does. Feels like a bottom. Get back above that pivot there and all bets are off. This thing probably goes. See if we can't do that. See if we can't get back above that pivot. I got to start holding my trades for these numbers. Like 189, I knew, was going to be kind of a key level there that we probably would hit. And I entered that short 3 times. We took 565 out of it, but really, left quite a bit of money on the table there. Got to start holding for these numbers. Got to start holding for these numbers. Let me look and see on my entries here. Yeah, we could have took a lot more out of the market there if we would have just held that short the whole way through, obviously. Retesting the pivot here. So what we want to see in this scenario, we want to see this little push up on higher volume. Maybe get above the pivot 17 area. Pull back, low volume, test the pivot, and then continue higher. And if it does that, we will get long off that pivot area. So holding up there at the pivot, got to get through there. And see, this kind of getting our pullback here below the pivot, which I'm not in love with. I would like for this to have traded above the pivot and then pulled back and tested the pivot and continued higher. So on this pullback, we don't really want it to be any lower than maybe 200. Pull back to 200 and then move higher. So we may consider a long here. It's kind of counter trend, but counter trend is usually usually pays the best there. But if we don't hold 200, I wouldn't be in love with it. See if we start to pump here. Buyers coming back in. Don't know if I like longing into that pivot point, so I'm probably going to wait for it to break, which would be a bit late of an entry. but that's what we're going to do. Want to get confirmation. Like I said, possible move back up into that 57 area if we start moving back up here. Well, I guess next up's 32. Next up's 32, and then beyond that, 57. If we get above 210, I probably take a long, as long as we're on strong volume. Need a little more of confirmation. A little more. Want to get through there strong. $210's just a brick wall right now, guys. And girls, if there's any girls watching. Let's see. If that 210 wasn't there, if the pivot wasn't there, I'd be long already. But with that pivot being there, that's what's holding us down right now. Oh. Let's see. Just trying to watch and see, guys, if we can get through this. Yeah, 210 definitely a wall. If we can get through this 210 area and hold this 200, then I think we at least move to the 232s, but just not happening right now. If we lose 200, then that would kind of be worrisome for the Bulls. Testing 200 once again. I mean, 200 wouldn't be a bad area to get long at, to be honest, but I'm just going to wait for a little confirmation. Yeah. If we get through that 210 strong there, I think we push up into the 230. But right now, it's just not happening. Don't have the energy to get through there. I almost want to just enter long and throw my stop at 95. Risk maybe... Well, could just risk 200. Let's see if it pulls back into that 200 again. We might do that. We might just go long and put our stop there at the 95. if we get another little pullback. But if not, we'll break above 210. Then we'll just get in on some strong volume above 210. One or the other. I don't think long off 200 is a bad idea so far. Well, nothing doing so far. Testing that 200 level there. Let's just see. If we hold 200 here, then I may throw in a long. Might be a bad idea, but just on a single contract. I'm going to toss in a little long here. I'm going to put my stop at the 95, so risking... actually, I'm going to put my stop at 98. We're just going to risk 5 handles. I'm long off the 03. So we lose that... if we lose that solid number there at 200... then so be it. We'll just target the 20 area, see if we can get a push into the 220, nothing crazy. So risking basically $100 of profit here for a potential $400 winner. Will actually be a little more than that. Well, almost $400, $370, $360. Might get stopped here. That's okay if we do. But let's see. I like to see those buyers come on in here and push it up. Sometimes on these reversal trades, you got to take risky entries, you know, in order to get the reward there. So, see if these buyers can get through here. Push us through that 10 area quickly. Just one contract here. All right, stop's already going to be at break even because we don't want to... we want it to just push through there at this point. So can't lose. Can't lose on it. I think we should get through that 10 area this time. There comes the volume strong. All right. Testing that 10 area again. There we go. Come on. Nice little push. See if we can get a push into that 220. Should be quick if we're going to go. Got our stop at the 0675, so if we get stopped here, we just do. But I should not. This should go if it's going to go. Yeah, we're stopped there. That's okay. Kind of a risky entry. I moved my stop up quickly because if we were going to get through that pivot strong, right, then we would have went there. Still might go. I just feel like if we were going to get through the pivot there and continue, we would have continued going there. We didn't. So we locked in a little bit, like 60, 70 bucks, up 625 at this point. You can see the volume popped up there for a second and then it just died off. I think we're eventually going to get through that 10 area, but don't know if I love chasing it like that. Like I want to, you know, still could be long here. Wouldn't be in the red. You figure, like, you know, we've tested it once. Let's zoom back out. That was kind of the retest on the short. So 1, 2, 3 tests of it. So just very, very strong resistance right now. Just going to take some nice volume to get through there. If we get some buyers coming in here strong, we can get through there. There's no buyers to be spoken of right now. Don't see any buyers. They're not really coming in strong. All right. I'm going to give it another minute or two here, guys. If this thing doesn't pop through here, then that just might be our cue. That's not the color we want to see on the WADA. We don't want to see the red. Come on now, show us some green. Some nice green. A big green candle, maybe up to here. The market said no. No green candles for you. Well, all right, guys, I think that's going to do it for me. Getting pretty sleepy. Very sleepy. So, if you guys haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe. And I will see you guys again live at 9:30 a.m. for the New York session. Appreciate you guys watching. Didn't take any more trades. Still at 625.